Now, in order to take a look at the stock market, let's scroll up and click on 1-1. All right, now here's a tough one. Rebecca,
Yes.
how many stocks in the S&P 500?
Oh God. Lot. I'm kidding. Sorry, no one knows.
You're the
Yes, I'll go with that one. Exactly.
500? That's good. That's good. Okay.
Sorry.
And,
Crash
and I thought it was a slow pitch.
Exactly.
Okay. So, yeah. What was the color of George Washington's white horse? Okay.
500.
All right, 500. I bet you don't forget either. All right, so, okay, there's five. Now, this is by way of interest. How many stocks in the Dow Jones Industrial Average? 30. How many stocks listed on the New York Stock Exchange? To the nearest 1,000. 4, 2, we'll compromise, we'll say 3. I thought it was 3, but I'm not positive. I'm not positive. It used to be 3, but like, what about the American Stock Exchange? I think that's about 1,000. What about NASDAQ, which isn't an exchange? NASDAQ stands for National Association of Securities Dealers Automated Quotations, right? NASDAQ. And it's an over-the-counter market, that it's a computer terminal market. How many stocks NASDAQ? Well, 5,000 or so. So how many stocks are listed in all these exchanges in NASDAQ? Well, gosh, we're closing in on 10,000, right? We're 8,000 something, whatever. It's a lot of stocks. So therefore, my question to you, why a Dow Jones Industrial Average, which is 30? Why an S&P 500, which is 500? NASDAQ, by the way, is every day all the stocks listed or listed with NASDAQ. It's all, whatever we said, 4,000, 5,000 of them. So, but, you know, why? Why the, you know, has anybody thought about that? Well, the answer, I believe, is this, that there may be thousands upon thousands of stocks listed, but the vast majority of the trading every day and the vast majority of the ownership is in a relatively few stocks. Many stocks are small companies that are thinly traded and not very broadly held. Whereas if you get companies obviously like Microsoft and General Electric and American Express and McDonald's and Walmart and all that, well, they're much more broadly held. And so the Dow Jones Industrial Average, those 30 stocks, the Dow 30, is a disproportionately large amount of the trading every day, considering it's only 30 stocks. Plus, it's spread out over a broad range of industries, right? There's manufacturing, there's finance, there's retail, there's fast food, and software. Everybody got it? Now, on the other hand, NASDAQ is all, whatever we said, 5,000 stocks, and it's mostly technology and mostly smaller companies. So the NASDAQ is a far more speculative group of stocks. The Dow is called blue chip. These are the big corporations. In between, S&P 500, which is mostly the Dow stocks plus a lot of NASDAQ. And most people prefer the S&P 500 as the best indicator of the stock market. The Dow gets the most recognition. And even NASDAQ gets a lot of recognition. If you listen to National Public Radio or public television, they do the Dow and the NASDAQ. They don't do S&P. But there's the S&P up there on the screen or on the screen in front of you. And what's the first thing that leaps out at you? Obviously. Well, Twin Peaks, right? There's two tops there, right? There's a top at about 1,500 in 2000, and there's a top at about, it's actually a little over 1,500, but why quibble, in 2008. And of course, it's fallen. Where's the S&P 500 today? Well, today's Saturday, so it's not being traded today. But let's say, where did it close yesterday? 866. So it's a little over 800. But it definitely fell below 800 for a while. This is just the latest data that I've got, the latest quarterly data. So it's now, let's move on. Chart 1.2. The price earnings ratio. What's that? The price earnings ratio, the PE. The price earnings ratio is the S&P 500, that's the price, divided by the earnings per share for the 500 stocks in the S&P 500. So let's take an example. Let's say, and I'm just drawing these numbers out of my head. Let's say the S&P 500 stands at 800, which is about what it is now. And let's say the earnings per share of those companies is 40 bucks. What is 800 divided by 40? 20. So the price earnings ratio is 20. See that? That's the old math. Okay, now